Hi guys, it's Beth. Welcome back to my channel. Today is the Crafty collab, the Crafty Christmas collab 2020 week number 2 project share. So again, this is just a collaboration I'm hosting where we pick one paper pad or collection and we use it for the month of November to make 4 different projects, which are posted at 8 a.m. Eastern time every Wednesday in November. And you don't have to finish up the pad, but the point is to just work through one pad, like instead of jumping around, to kind of make 4 different projects from one pad. Projects can be anything the participants want. It just needs to be 4 different projects. So I'm working with Classic Vintage from Craft Smart. It's kind of it does have like a little like 50s, 60s vintage feel to the images in the paper, which I have had a lot of fun with. And so this week I have made a little Christmas countdown, and there was a page in the pad that had cut aparts that were like an Advent, calendar type Christmas countdown. They had the numbers on them. I've used them in the past. Like I had used the other sheet of them. I made some cards. I just took advantage of some of the images on the card, but on the little cut aparts, but kind of ignored the numbers. So for this one, I wanted to go ahead and take advantage of the numbered pieces. And I decided I kind of thought a long time how I wanted to use these, because these were like 2 1/4 inches by 2 1/4 inches, the little cut apart squares. So if you're thinking about a standard countdown calendar box, like the one I have for my girls, where it's a square and it has, little drawers that you can pull out, this wouldn't fit, and then they were a little too big for some of the other countdown calendars I've done as well. So I thought about, I could do these little pouches and maybe mount them on a board or something. But then the board was going to be huge. So I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and make the pouches, and then I can always figure out what I want to do with them. So I used a silhouette file that just made this little envelope. It's like a little pouch. It's like 2 3/4 inches long by 3 inches tall. And it, came with a little jagged border. For some reason I can't think of what that edge is called. But like pinking maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so I just I took 4 or 5, I think 5 different sheets from the pad and was able to cut 4 pouches from each sheet. And then just used the cut aparts and kind of varied them. Sometimes I just added a little scrap of cardstock or other pattern paper behind them. This one just cut into a tag. Some of them I pulled in the little tear strips from the top of the paper just to add a little bit more color. Like this one, there's a little scrap that went behind the reindeer. This was some kind of shimmery off-white cardstock that I had, and so I kind of brought it in just to play off the pink and the kind of the glamour pink vibe here. And then I don't know if it's going to show up on my camera today, but I did add a little bit of Wink of Stella to the brown parts of the ornament on this one. This one I added some Wink of Stella to the star and backed it on white to help it pop. Here I just used 2 pieces of one of the red tear strips. Like all the pages, they had different color tear strips at the top and they were all solid color. So this is just 2 pieces of the red just to kind of help it pop off of the blue background. That one, all I did was around the corners. I didn't need anything else. Here I created a tag and put some white paper behind it to help the red pop off the green, and then just added a little silver bow that I already had in my stash. And here I used the tear strip down at the bottom, added some vinyl circles, and then even added a little bit of Wink of Stella on the bow. I can get that to show up. So some of them I didn't even really have to do anything to. Maybe I just trimmed them down or rounded the corners. This one has a little bit of Wink of Stella. Here again, I just used the tear strip, a gold tear strip, to kind of add a little color and help the green pop off the blue. Brought in some more of the vinyl circles. Here I actually used some Nuvo drops. And so I have 25 pouches. And then again, was struggling to figure out how I wanted to display them, store them, whatever, package them. And so somehow I came up with the idea of a box, like a crate kind of thing. And so I went through my stash. I couldn't find anything that was the right size that I wanted to use, because I wanted it to be like just wide enough for the envelopes, but I wanted there to be room like front to back, so that if these are all full, you know, that there's still room, that they're going to fit and they're not going to be all stuffed in there. So I took to my silhouette again, thank goodness for my silhouette, it saved the day many times, and found a crate and then kind of altered it a little bit. Like it originally had holes for the handles, so I took those off of the design and then just resized it so that it was going to be like 3 inches wide, and then I think it's like 4 inches deep, 4 1/4, or like just over 4, and then it's 3 1/8 inches tall. And I didn't have any heavy duty craft. I needed a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock. I didn't have any heavy duty 12 by 12 cardstock in a color that I wanted to use, so I just took kind of this, it's kind of a creamy tan, and cut my main box, my crate, out of that, and then ended up adding some brick panels. This is the brick pattern from the pad, so I added a layer of that all around the outside, and then including the bottom, because I was just trying to make sure it was going to be, like, just in case there was some heavy stuff that were in the pouches, I want to make sure that I had that the box would be sturdy enough to hold that. So at this point my mic fell off when I went to close the curtain to block out the sun that decided to come out, but I reinforced the inside of the crate as well. I added some of that manila colored cardstock on the sides, and I think I ended up adding 2 layers on the bottom. That tree on the front is an MDF piece that I had picked up on clearance at Michael's years ago for like 20 cents, and finally found a use for it, so I'm very excited about that. But I love how this project ended up turning out. I love that it's compact. It's kind of a different take on a countdown calendar, and you can easily tuck it away somewhere until, you know, either in between the times, you know, after you pull something out of one of the pouches, you can tuck it away, or it won't take up too much space on a counter, kind of like ours does. But anyway, I'm also excited for the fact that it used up a good amount of paper from my pad. But I hope you enjoyed this project today. Please be sure to check out all the participants that are listed in the description box below. I love how they all have their own take on this collab, and I love to see what they are making each week as well. Thank you guys so much for your time today, and please stop back next week to see what I make for week 3 of this collab. I hope you're all having a very crafty day.